Sleepless.
Yes, I, 18F, was stupid for going on that website, I know. I saw YouTube videos of people going on it and it was funny, so I thought, why not? Anyway, I meet this guy, 18 meters, and we are just having really easy convo and talk for probably 2 or 3 hours, just getting really deep, and it was cool. He seemed like a genuine guy. He gave me his Snapchat but said his phone was broken, but on his computer he has text mail or something so that we could text from there. I thought there's no harm in giving him my number, it's just a number and I could block him anytime. After the first night of talking he starts getting weird and sexual and whatever. Let me tell you, this guy is into weird and scary shit, and is very aggressive. I kept saying stop, like I'm gonna hang up, I'm going to sleep. He was saying stuff like, I like when you say no, and acting like he wouldn't let me hang up. So I hung up and he probably called me back like 20 times and then sent me a string of nasty texts calling me so many words including a cum rag. So I blocked him and went to sleep. The next morning I kept getting calls labeled unknown or no caller ID. I assumed it was him and thought it was weird I could still get calls after I blocked someone. Then I got a call from another number and it was him. He said it's easy to change your number on that text mail thing and basically said sorry, like he just got angry and shouldn't have said the things he said. I gave him shit for it and he did seem very remorseful. I know everyone is thinking I'm a naive dumbass for still talking to him, and I guess I was a dumbass, but I didn't actually like him anymore. I've just been very lonely and it was just someone to talk to. Pathetic, IK. So we were good for a few more days, just getting to know each other more. Also, I forgot to mention I gave him a fake name and said I lived somewhere else, so I got that part right at least. So fast forward to tonight, he wanted to get all gross again, saying inappropriate things to me. I can't tell you how many different ways I said no. I even said you sound like my ex who couldn't take no for an answer. Because before he was bashing my ex for not being respectful. So I hung up and he called me again like 30 times and I finally answered to see if he was done being horny or whatever. He was, but he was in a bad mood, like just annoyed, and said something like, honestly you ain't even that attractive, I mean you cute but like, RNVM, I shouldn't have said that. So I said, you're a dick. In a very matter-of-fact way and I guess with an attitude. I now regret saying that very much so. What the fuck did you just call me? He just starts spewing all this shit and basically threatening me, saying he's in a gang, technically he could get my family killed. At this point the only reason I wasn't hanging up was because I was scared. I wanted to calm him down first. Then all of a sudden he said the city and state I live in, followed by a "huh." My heart dropped. I didn't say anything for a bit, then I said, yeah, my aunt lives there, why? And he was like, I know, guys, my aunt doesn't live there. So I knew he was trying to act like he knew everything. But it still really shocked me when he said that. He starting spewing more shit like he could put a hit out on me and wanting me to tell him my mom's name. He even said, tell me right now or I'll do something. Honestly, just so terrifying. Then he was like, don't you ever call me that word again. Never. Or that attitude. I said, okay, very timidly. I didn't want to make him more mad. Throughout this whole time I kept politely asking him to stop and saying I'm sorry and I'm tired and just want to sleep. He kept responding like, don't you dare fucking hang up. I finally said I'm going to sleep now and hung up. Then I blocked him and got a couple more unknown caller calls and now it's stopped. I am so paranoid. I know I come off as stupid, but that's fine. I just need to tell someone and need to know if there's anything I can do. I also know in the morning he's probably gonna call me from a new number again and I'm scared. Please don't be rude in the comments. I've learned my lesson already. It started off on Omegle. I'm an 18-year-old at the moment. Since I turned 13, I developed a habit of talking to strangers online. Every day after coming home from school, I used to talk to the numerous idiots. Some decent people, some creeps, but nothing as bad as this. For some backstory, I generally followed a generally similar routine on most days. Monday, Thursdays, it was go to school, come home, and then just watch a few episodes of Friends, or The Middle. On Fridays, I usually went out and chilled with my friends. Saturdays was just the day I went to the town center where there is usually a lot of shops, cinemas and whatnot. I preferred to go out by myself on this day, though occasionally I went with the friends. I just got home, jumped onto the computer, switching on my usual choice of music and just unwinding from a rough day at school. Watched some YouTube videos, a few episodes of Friends, and then after eating proceeded to go on to Omegle. After a few strangers and perverts, I came across a decent guy called Chris. Now Chris and I exchanged messages for around 40 to 50 minutes when I just told him a little bit about myself. Just some general information, nothing specific to be honest. What I like to do and just basically what I wrote up there. He told me he was 18 years old and working at an ICT company as an apprentice. He seemed to have many of the same interests I did, which was a little cool because it gave us a lot to talk about. I casually told him that my web browser was acting up, to which he said, "Hey, I'm great with computers. My job involves working with computers. You should totally download this application and I'll see what I can do," with a huge amount of enthusiasm. Me being as innocent as I was, I agreed. The application he told me to download was either TeamViewer or Splashtop Streamer. The reason I wasn't hesitant was because there wasn't anything on my computer, no personal details, just come schoolwork, video games. It was pretty neat that he could just control my computer. I messaged Chris saying that I'm popping downstairs for 5 minutes and that I'd be right back. I came back in within 3 minutes, seeing him erasing my web history. This didn't seem sketchy as I had a problem with my browser. I asked him after he was done what he was doing and he said that the problem is all fixed, and it was. I thanked him and we spoke for about 20 more minutes. We planned to speak the following evening with some tags so the system matched us together. The next evening, we proceeded to speak. This time, however, he started acting up, asking why I was late. And that I said I was going to come online at 8 p.m. Now, I don't remember the exact time, but I know for a fact I was not even that late, max 15 minutes. I told him not to speak to me like that and why he was acting like a fucking idiot for. He went on saying, "Sorry honey. I hope you can forgive me. I love you. Now I'm not into guys and these messages were freaking me out." I told him to stop and he just sent me a few smiley faces. He then went on to say, "I know where you live. You live in this town, blank. I know what school you go to," and things of that sort. Our town is a small one and there wasn't any way that he could just guess that. Things were uneventful for the next few days until the following Saturday when I went shopping with my friends. We all grabbed something to eat and then sort of just chilled on one of the benches chatting. A man then popped next to us, asking if he could sit down. I was a little apprehensive, but my friend said they're public seats and we shouldn't stop him. He was standing on my friend's side, but when we allowed to sit he shifted right next to me. He just sat still there, not moving, not saying a word, but just looking straight. He then turned toward me and smiled. I tried to get up but he grabbed my shoulder, to which my friends started shouting. He then started shouting himself, directly in my ear, and casually walked away. My friends walked me home that night. It got worse then, when someone started posting blank letters through the letterbox. I was unable to comprehend anything. Random bangs on the door. When we went out there wasn't anyone there. When I passed my driving test, I got a letter congratulating me. It was typed up. We still get the letters, just not as frequently. The police seem to not believe a single word, but it's supposedly being investigated. Just please let's not meet. Sleepless.